There comes a point in every person's life when they realize something powerful, something liberating, something life-changing. Not everyone who walks into your life is meant to stay. Some people arrive softly like a warm breeze, and others leave abruptly like a storm that clears the sky. But no matter how people come or go, your responsibility, your sacred duty, is to stay grounded in yourself. You see, life is a journey of evolving connections. Some people are chapters, others are paragraphs, a few are entire volumes. But you are the author. And the moment you begin to understand this, you stop casing people who weren't meant to carry a permanent role in your story. You stop begging for loyalty from the disloyal. You stop handing out pieces of yourself for free. You begin to focus on the one person who will remain with for every breath, every step, every success, every heartbreak. Yourself. When you learn to focus inward, you discover that your value doesn't decrease or decrease based on who stays or who leaves. Your worth is constant, your dignity is non-negotiable, and your peace is priceless. People leaving is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is simply a reflection of God's timing, destiny's redirection, and the natural flow of life. Some people are lessons wrapped in disappointment, others are blessings wrapped in love, but none of them are responsible for your growth. That is your job, so focus on yourself, build yourself. Heal yourself. Love yourself. Because when you do, you stop clinging to temporary people. You stop holding on to the hands that are letting go of you. You stop shrinking yourself to be acceptable. Instead, you rise. You expand. You become rooted in a kind of strength that doesn't depend on applause or companionship. People come and go. But your vision, your purpose, your heart must remain steady. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must stop, take a breath, and finally admit a truth they have been avoiding for years. That they have spent more time prioritizing other people's needs, expectations, and opinions than nurturing their own soul. This realization is not comfortable. It shakes the ground beneath your feet. It exposes the weight you have been carrying in silence. And it forces you to confront the fear that maybe, just maybe, you've been living for others more than you've been living for yourself. But this moment, this awareness, is also the beginning of your awakening. Because the moment you choose to focus on yourself is the moment your life begins to shift. For too long, many of us have allowed our value to be shaped by how much we give, how available we are, and how much we sacrifice. We have worn exhaustion like a badge of honor, believing it made us more loving, more loyal, more worthy. But the truth is simple. You cannot pour into others from a cup that is empty, cracked, or neglected. When you focus on yourself, when you invest in your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, you are not being selfish, you are being responsible. You are finally acknowledging that your life, your dreams, and your peace matter. People will always come and go. That is the natural rhythm of life. Some will enter to teach you, some to test you, some to accompany you for a chapter, and some to remain forever. But your relationship with yourself, your inner voice, your heart, these are constant. They are the only things you will carry with you from your first breath to your last. And yet, these are often the things we neglect the most. When you focus on yourself, you reclaim the one relationship that truly defines your entire existence. Choosing yourself means giving yourself permission to grow, even if that growth distances you from people who once felt permanent. It means allowing yourself to pursue peace, even if peace requires letting go of chaos you once normalized. It means setting boundaries, even when boundaries disappoint the people who benefited from your lack of them. And it means listening to your inner guidance, even when the world tries to drown it out with noise, judgment, or fear. When you shift your attention inward, you begin to understand your own worth on a deeper level. You stop begging for love because you start generating it within yourself. You stop chasing validation because you recognize that approval from others is temporary, but acceptance of self is lifelong. You stop fearing abandonment because you learn that losing someone is not the end of your story. Losing yourself is. You stop trying to keep people in your life through effort, sacrifice, or compromise that harms you, because you realize that those who truly belong in your life will choose to stay without needing to be convinced. Focusing on yourself creates strength. It builds clarity. It teaches you resilience. But most importantly, it brings you back to your center, a place where you are grounded, confident, peaceful, and aligned with who you were always meant to be. When you choose yourself, you begin to attract relationships, opportunities, and environments that match your healed self, not your wounded self. And you finally understand that the right people do not drift away when you grow. They grow with you. People come and go, that is inevitable. But your relationship with yourself is eternal. Prioritize it, protect it, honor it. Because when you focus on yourself, everything else in life aligns naturally, beautifully, and powerfully. There comes a point in every person's life when they realize that peace is not something handed to them. It is something they must fiercely protect. It is a boundary, a personal sanctuary, a sacred space that requires active defense. One of the greatest truths of life is that not everyone deserves access to your heart, your mind, your energy, or your time. People will come and go in your journey, but your peace must remain constant, untouched, and guarded with intention. Protecting your peace begins with understanding that your emotional and mental stability are not bargaining chips. You don't trade them for approval. You don't hand them out in exchange for temporary affection. You don't sacrifice them to keep a connection alive. When you place your peace at the center of your priorities, you begin to see people differently, not through the lens of fear, attachment, or desperation, but through clarity and truth. To protect your peace, you must first recognize what disturbs it. Often it's not the loud chaos that harms us, it's the silent toxicity, the disrespect, the small jabs disguised as jokes, the emotional inconsistency that keeps you guessing. The people who drain your strength little by little until you're left wondering how you became someone you don't recognize. These disturbances creep in quietly, and if you don't pause to examine the energy around you, they will consume your inner calm. There's a powerful shift that happens when you finally say, "That choose myself." That choice doesn't mean you stop loving others. It means you stop abandoning yourself. When someone walks out of your life, let them leave. Don't chase, don't beg, don't negotiate your worth in hopes of being chosen. Their exit is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It's a reflection of their role in your story being complete. People come and go because life is a series of seasons. Some individuals are meant to teach you, some are meant to inspire you, and some are meant to test you. But none are meant to destroy your inner peace. When you allow people to treat your peace like a playground, you open the door to chaos. When you treat your peace like a treasure, you close the door to anything that threatens your well-being. Protecting your peace also means saying no without apology. Saying no to unnecessary drama. No to conversations that leave you empty. No to environments that shrink your spirit. No to relationships where you invest everything yet receive nothing that nourishes your soul. Every time you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what elevates you. Your peace grows when you embrace the power of solitude. Spending time alone teaches you what true stability feels like. It teaches you that loneliness is not the absence of people, it is the absence of connection with yourself. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you stop handing your peace to others for validation. Strong people don't protect their peace because they're selfish. They protect their peace because they've learned the cost of losing it. Every person who stays in your life should add to your peace, not subtract from it. When you create emotional boundaries, when you stand firm in your self-worth, and when you refuse to tolerate anything that jeopardizes your inner balance, you send a powerful message. My peace is my priority. Remember this. People will come and go, but peace is something you choose every day. And the moment you begin choosing it consistently, your life transforms in ways you never imagined. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they realize that peace is not something the world hands to you gently. It is something you must fiercely protect. The truth is, not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and not everyone should have access to your energy, your mind, or your heart. When you begin focusing on yourself, you naturally become more aware of who feeds your soul and who drains it. And that awareness becomes the moment you reclaim your power. Protecting your peace starts with understanding that your time, your attention, and your emotional capacity are finite. They are not unlimited wells for others to drink from without consideration. Too often, we become so accustomed to giving, to supporting, to listening, to fixing, that we forget our own emotional space needs tending. Some people in your life may take without ever returning. Some may demand without ever appreciating. And some may linger not out of love, but out of convenience. To protect your peace, you must learn to identify these patterns without guilt. This is not about distancing yourself from the world. It's about drawing boundaries for your well-being. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. They allow in goodness, honesty, respect, and they keep out manipulation, chaos, and emotional clutter. When you set boundaries, you communicate to yourself first, that your peace matters. You communicate that you are no longer willing to sacrifice your emotional health to keep someone comfortable. Protecting your peace also means learning to silence the noise around you. There will always be opinions, judgments, criticisms, assumptions, and expectations. People will always have something to say about how you live, how you dream, how you choose, and how you heal. But the loudest voice in your life must be your own. When you truly focus on yourself, the noise becomes background static instead of a script you follow. One of the most challenging parts of protecting your peace is letting people go when their chapter has ended. We often hold on to relationships, friends, partners, coworkers, even family, long after their purpose in our story has been fulfilled. We hold on out of fear of loneliness, fear of conflict, or fear of change. But peace cannot coexist with fear. When someone's presence constantly disrupts your clarity, drains your spirit, or diminishes your joy, you must be brave enough to release them. Letting go is not abandonment, it is alignment, it is choosing yourself. As you focus inward, you will also notice a shift within. Your intuition strengthens, your confidence stabilizes, your calm grows deeper. Suddenly, you begin to understand that peace is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of self-trust. When you trust yourself, external chaos loses its power. People's departures no longer devastate you. Their opinions no longer control you. Their behavior no longer defines you. Protecting your peace makes you emotionally independent in the healthiest way possible. And as you honor your inner world, something beautiful happens. You attract people who match your energy, people who respect your boundaries, people who support your growth, people who add to your peace instead of stealing it. Focusing on yourself does not push the right people away, it filters the wrong ones out. In the end, protecting your peace is an act of self-love. It is not selfishness, it is self-preservation. When you commit to your well-being, everything in your life aligns differently. Your relationships, your goals, your opportunities, your happiness. People will come and go, but your peace must stay. It is the one thing that defines how far you will grow, how boldly you will move, and how much of yourself you will reclaim. There comes a moment in every person's life when they finally understand that peace is not something the world hands to you. It is something you build, guard, and refuse to negotiate. Your peace is the foundation upon which your confidence, your clarity, and your sense of direction rest. When you lose your peace, you lose your center. But when you protect your peace, you protect your ability to rise, to transform, and to stay committed to your own growth. Too often, we allow people, situations, and unnecessary chaos to disturb our inner world. We let loud opinions drown our intuition. We let someone else's urgency become our stress. And we let temporary emotions pull us into battles that do not belong to us. But maturity, true emotional maturity, comes when you learn that not every comment requires a response. Not every argument deserves your energy. And not every person is meant to have access to your mind and your heart. Protecting your peace means knowing what feeds your spirit and what drains it. It means becoming aware of the environments that help you breathe deeply and the ones that make you shrink. It means noticing the conversations that leave you feeling inspired and the ones that leave you feeling empty. And once you notice these things, you honor yourself by acting on that awareness. You step back, you step away. You step into spaces where you can flourish instead of merely survive. Sometimes protecting your peace is not dramatic. Sometimes it is as simple as choosing silence over noise. It is choosing rest over overthinking. It is letting people misunderstand you because your peace matters more than your explanation. It is declining invitations that don't align with your emotional well-being. It is turning off your phone when the world feels too heavy. It is saying, I love you, but I cannot carry this for you. It is saying, I choose me today. And remember this, people who truly care about you will never be threatened by your need for peace. They will not punish you for taking space, nor will they guilt-trip you into carrying emotional burdens that belong to them. Those who value your presence will never demand that you sacrifice your mental well-being for their convenience. So when someone becomes angry or distant, just because you set a boundary, understand that the reaction is a reflection of their expectations, not your worth. Protecting your peace also means being honest with yourself. It means acknowledging the habits, thoughts, and patterns that disrupt your inner calm. Sometimes the battles you fight are not with the world but with your own insecurities and fears. To protect your peace, you must confront those shadows within you. You must learn to forgive yourself, to let go of regret, and to stop reopening doors that lead you right back into pain. It is not selfish to protect your peace. It is survival. It is self-respect. It is the sacred work of honoring your mind, your heart, and your emotional health. Because when your peace is stable, your decisions become wiser, your relationships become healthier, your vision becomes clearer. You start to attract opportunities that match your level of self-respect. You begin to grow in ways that were not possible when you were living in constant emotional turbulence. So choose your peace every single day. Guard it like a priceless treasure, because it is. Make no apologies for distancing yourself from chaos, negativity, or people who drain you. You deserve a life that feels calm, grounded, and aligned. You deserve relationships that fill your soul, not ones that exhaust your spirit. And you deserve the quiet moments that remind you who you are beneath all the noise. Your peace is your power. When you protect it, you protect the best version of yourself. Your peace is not just an emotion, it is a form of power. It is the foundation on which every dream, every decision, and every meaningful step of your journey is built. Yet, for most of our lives, we have been conditioned to believe that keeping people around, no matter how draining, disrespectful, or dismissive they may be, is somehow a sign of strength. We think that preserving relationships at the cost of our well-being makes us more loyal, more generous, more loving. But the truth is simple and liberating. Your peace is more important than anyone's presence. When you begin to understand this, everything in your world shifts. You start to see that not everyone who walks into your life is meant to stay. Some people are lessons. Some people are reminders. Some people are simply passing through, showing you what you need, what you don't need, and what you must protect. And your peace, your emotional, mental, and spiritual balance is what must be guarded above all else. Because once you lose it, you lose yourself. Maintaining peace begins with recognizing what disrupts it. Sometimes the loudest distractions are not noise from the outside world, but the people you've allowed to sit closest to your heart. The conversations that leave you drained, the expectations that weigh heavily on your spirit, the relationships that demand more than they ever give. These are the invisible thieves of peace. And ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. It only makes the damage deeper. But when you choose yourself, something remarkable happens. You start to reclaim your energy, your clarity, your sense of direction. You begin to understand that peace is not passive. It is an active choice. It is the courage to walk away from what breaks you. It is the strength to set boundaries that protect your mental space. It is the wisdom to release people who do not value the privilege of your presence. Sometimes peace requires letting go. Letting go of people you love, letting go of people you hoped would stay, or letting go of the version of yourself that accepted less than you deserved. This kind of release isn't cold, it is necessary. It isn't selfish, it is essential. You cannot grow in an environment that suffocates you. You cannot evolve in a space where you are constantly shrinking, and you cannot thrive around people who are committed to misunderstanding your worth. Choosing peace also means choosing silence over chaos, and clarity over confusion. It means saying no without apology and saying yes, only when it aligns with your growth. It means giving yourself permission to prioritize rest, healing, introspection, and joy. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, choosing peace is an act of power that few people have the courage to claim. And here is the most profound part. When you protect your peace, the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. People who respect your boundaries, who appreciate your value, who contribute to your well-being rather than compete with it. You begin to attract relationships built on mutual respect, honesty, elevation, and genuine connection. Because peace is magnetic. Those who carry it draw in others who understand its importance. So let this keynote become your reminder. Your peace matters more than anyone who threatens it. Never sacrifice your inner harmony for temporary companionship. Never hold on to someone who disrupts the calm you've worked so hard to create. People come and go, but the relationship you have with your peace, your inner sanctuary, is lifelong. And when you choose to prioritize it, everything else in your life aligns with a greater purpose, a deeper happiness, and a stronger version of you.